Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Man of Steel, issue number 1. Now, as you know, this series is meant to be a 6-part miniseries that was written and created by John Byrne, who also made the series Spider-Man Chapter 1. Now, the series itself was meant to be a kind of relaunch after the events of the Crisis, and for a time after the Crisis, several relaunches happened after a few issues. Characters like Superman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Batman had their origins redone and went back to the beginning. And the cover mainly has Superman opening his clothes to reveal his S, and yes, some of the ideas were taken for Man of Steel the film. It starts off how on the planet Krypton, Jor-El has returned, and as well is looking in the capsule of his unborn child, and Lara says, "Jor-El, is it true what I heard? When I was told, I could not believe it, but you really did it. You sent one of the servants to remove the Matrix from the chambers." And yeah, this is kind of like something similar to Man of Steel, and which mainly Lauren in that do believe that due to what's been happening with Krypton, that is going to happen to them. And so they've planned to send their son Kal-El to the planet Earth in a place called Kansas, which Laura is shocked at the idea. But again, he does say that Earth's Lelo son will give Kal-El enough power to survive. And of course, Krypton starts to blow up, and Jor-El says, "Farewell, my son, farewell." And yeah, Jor-El says his last few moments goodbye with Lara, and we see Superman escaping from Krypton and pretty much making it away, which we've seen years later, where Clark has now become the football star. And this does remind me a bit of Man of Steel, as the coach thinks Clark is a big successful star, and you can tell Jonathan isn't happy with Clark using his abilities in that. And this does remind me of the Richard Donner Superman film, as Jor-El knows that Clark was destined for great things, and it wasn't to score touchdowns. So he decides to show Clark a family secret they've been hiding, and they reveal the ship where Superman came from. So Clark is puzzled at first, and Jonathan does explain that when during the winter season came, Jonathan and Martha Kent found Clark when his ship crash landed, and pretty much Martha decides to take Clark in, and decides to take him in as one of their own, and pretty much were able to have their own child now. And as time grew, we see that Clark's abilities slowly manifest. When he got stomped by a bull, he actually survived, lifted up a tractor, saw through walls, and even was able to fly. And of course, Clark is shocked about this, and pretty much Jonathan does blame himself for revealing too much. So after being told the truth, Clark isn't angry with them or hates them. He knows they did the right things and decides to explore the world. And we see how Jonathan and Martha have been keeping close tabs on Clark, and even Martha has been doing a scrapbook showing all the places in that of Clark's been doing. And even Jonathan finds one about Superman saving a plane that did almost reveal his identity. So just as they basically enter into the house, they basically see Clark in his room saying how he was shocked about something that happened, and during a sort of big plane thing, ended up with one of them crashing. and Clark going in to kind of help out as he wanted to see the events and did show up without really thinking. And just as Lois Lane and the pilots nearly fall to their deaths, Clark manages to rescue them. And Lois says, "Hold it right there, Buster." And so this is a moment that you can tell Clark does sort of have feelings for Lois, and yeah. And just then everyone starts asking Clark questions, and he did say that it was too much for him, and decided to fly to the Mount of Tibet to cool off, and decided he wanted to do something bigger. So Jonathan and Martha Kent get the idea about making Clark a costume, and so decide to give him Jonathan's old spectacles and a new haircut, and decides to make him Superman, which he pretty much flies off after that. And yeah, this is the story. Issue 1 is kind of ridiculous. Again, I kind of felt with Clark basically getting his abilities and that, with not really doing anything about it, seems a bit enforced. I kind of felt you could have had more time with Clark in his teenage years, and I get it, the point of the crisis was meant to fix things. And I do feel stories like Superman Earth 1, and also stories that Jeff Jones did with Superman's teenage years, actually worked. Again, it had more time to build with Clark, you had more time to get to know why Clark was the way he was. So the issue deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, ridiculous, but it's alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.